Hello world, hello humans, hello all creatures of the universe. I am still Cam and this is the Real Resilience Talk podcast coming to you today from where I'm coming to you from. I ain't giving you my address. I ain't doing that. You ain't stealing my credit.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, you just share it. Hey, I got a really amazing guest today. Somebody I admire the shit out of. I've looked up to for years from a distance, and then I got to know him, and just a crusader for as far as being there for people and giving people a platform to be a better them in the process. I got on here today with us, y'all. I got Dewayne White, the comic, veteran.
What's up, everybody?
Husband, dad. ASAP, Armed Services Arts Partnership, ASAP.org. Don't just go ASAP.org because then you'll go to Army Substance Abuse Program.
No, you won't. You go to some weird disease. I don't even remember what it is, but it's a disease of some kind.
Shit. But this man defended the Constitution for years, and now we finally get to utilize the rights we've all defended and use our First Amendment for good. So we defended it, so we're going to expend it today. Thank you, Dewayne, for being here.
Thanks
brother.
for having me, dude. I'm super stoked.
Dude. Man, I appreciate you, man. I'm telling you, just look him up, man. He's got a special out on Amazon, A Boy Named Shannon.
That's right. Check it out.
YouTube, Google. I'll put his socials in here on the captions. You can follow him. But and also with the Armed Services Arts Partnership, he's an alumni, but also a teacher with it. And he also is on like the board of
Alumni board. Yeah. So
yeah, the Illuminati of ASAP.
trying to raise money and also kind of direct where things are going with the future classes and things like that. So yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So,
Love
again, thank you for being here. I'm gonna start off the jump, dude. Anything you want to share about your background, and then what is resilience to you, my friend?
Well, my background, I mean, like you said, military for a long time. I was in for 23 years, and then retired in 15, did the government job thing for a while. As a contractor, did all that stuff. But now doing stand-up comedy full time, and have dealt with a lot of the things from the mental strain from the old days of what we used to do, or just life in general. It doesn't even have to be something super stressful, but just trying to work through it every day. What does resilience mean to me? I think for me, resilience is more of just keeping going despite the setbacks, and not just keeping going, but it sounds cheesy, but not just surviving, but thriving. You know what I mean? Trying to live everything to the fullest. Do and not give up when things get hard, and that's tough sometimes. But
yes, it is.
I think that's my definition, I guess.
No, I love it, man.
Right now, who knows? It'll be different
no,
tomorrow.
it evolves. We always evolving. I love it. Look at me, I'm evolving over here. I got that DD 214-15 going on. Y'all can see it in the camera shot right here. Yeah, it's all right. I'm out of regs.
You're still a sexy beast, bro. It's all right. There are no regs anymore. It's beautiful.
There's more to love now. But now, what I love what you said was the fact of not only surviving but thriving. Man.
Yeah, man.
That's so important, because we were talking before we started with the Dr. Craig Bryan Rethinking Suicide quote. He said, in order to really do suicide prevention well, we need to not just stop people from dying. We have to help them live a life worth living.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, I think for me, when I was in my lowest points, I think that was the idea. It was just hopeless. It's like, okay, well, and not, and it is. That's the starting point. Obviously, is like, don't kill yourself. I mean, but that's not gonna keep you there. You can't just not do that forever. You gotta grow and get stronger and get something worth hanging on for, I guess.
That's right. Yeah, no, I can't agree. And you do that now with what you're doing in the arts, and art saves lives, everybody.
For sure.
All right? It does. It really does. Don't suppress it, express it. Okay.
I love it.
But you not only did that yourself, but you do that for others. How fulfilling is that?
It's awesome, man. I would say one of the things I always talk about, because I do teach with ASAP, and one of the coolest things is to watch people come in and be afraid to get on stage or afraid to do something, and then 6 weeks later they're literally standing in front of 200 people alone on a stage telling their story. And 6 weeks earlier they were like, man, I can never do that. I can't get up. I can't do that. And so that's cool. And then just also the community that we have here with comedy. It's comedy can be a lonely spot, out on the road, or just even when you're around other people. It's we're not exactly. What is it? The quote was, "We're a bruised people." Is I think
it's true.
But just the idea that there are people to talk to, there are people to reach out to, and kind of taking it from that solo sport to a team sport a little bit, and I mean, I love to watch it. We have some really good friends that we've gotten out of comedy, some really close. I mean, I would almost consider them family at this point. especially being in the military and landing here. We don't have real blood family anywhere close. And that's something we always did in the military, was kind of build our own family wherever we were. And I think we just tried to keep that going with comedy.
No, it shows, and it's not just you doing it with your bride as well, with the community y'all have created. I'm just gonna say, as a person who just rolled up to an open mic, that I heard from another fellow veteran that was a comic, he was like, "You gotta go to Dewayne's room," and I was like, "Yeah, tight." And when I saw him, I was like, I didn't know that was Dewayne, because his name's Dewayne White, and you just expect him not to be white.
Yeah, that's true. I get that. There is nothing I like better than doing a show where I'm not on a poster, and especially if it's like a predominantly black room. This stuff I've heard walking to the stage, like, that ain't Dewayne. That's my favorite thing in the world.
That's not him. It can't be him.
Yeah.
I don't even go into my first name, so or my middle name. My middle name's Dewayne too, but your family can spell. My family's just white trash trying new shit out.
How's your middle name?
Dwain, man.
Dwayne. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dwayne. Okay. It's not even Dwayne. You got the dub. You got the DE. My shit, Dwayne. Like, it's Dwayning outside. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a little
Thanks,
different way.
Mom. Appreciate you. Rest in peace.
Yeah. But they did screw me on the first name, because my real first name is Shannon. So Dwayne's my middle name. So they had some plans for me. I don't know. My dad liked a boy named Sue.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. But no, to the point I was like, it's a welcoming environment, and it's like kind but thoughtful and firm feedback. Anytime I've done a mic with y'all, it's hugs, but the biggest word is community. I try to tell people, like it or not, we're all we got. And like, being from the military background, or any background, first responder, or anything in service, like, it take a lot of broken people walk into those lines of professions and things like that. The people helping people are usually the people that need it the most.
For sure.
And that applies to warriors as well. But coming into the comedy world and stand-up, because it's so raw, it's so vulnerable, you really get to know people inside and out, and people show them there's no fake. And that's what I appreciate about what I've found here with y'all's room. And when Shevitz ran his room, like, it was just welcoming. It was a place to grow, and it was definitely a place to get to know people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had no idea that it was going to turn into that. We've been doing this now in this location for 5.5 years.
Yeah.
So, and we had no idea. For us, it was just, hey, there's an opportunity to when you first started a mic, it's usually just to get more stage time. And it was actually Eliza Schlesinger kind of convinced me. She didn't know she was, but she was in a class that I was teaching. She just dropped in to talk.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, start an open mic. She goes, if you don't think you're ready to do it, do it. And I was like, I was a couple years in, and I was super ready. I just didn't think I was.
Right.
And I was like, well, let's give it a shot. And next thing you know, we're running this mic, and and at first, it's just a way to get more stage time, a way to get more reps in. And next thing you know, like, people start showing up, people become regulars, then people become family, and they're hanging at the house, or we're going out and doing stuff together. And and it's so, what I think about the comedy community is it's so much like the military in that sense. It's like a lot of people from weird different backgrounds, and that's what I love. It's like there's so many people that are different. It's not, everybody's not the same, and they come together, and we look at things differently, and we see things differently. I love it. I love the community that's there.
Misery loves company.
That's right. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just fun, and then sometimes we're commiserating, and it's good, but it's, like I said, like that welcoming environment. And, it's open mics. Like, I was so pressured when I first started with open mics, because I was like, I got to have everything, memorized. And I was treating it more like monologues. And then I heard Monica Daly's been on the show. Yeah. She said it's 5 minutes of fuck it. And I was like, damn. Like, it just takes the pressure off. Like, for a show, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I get it.
I guess what I'm saying is, I'm allowed to do that in your room.
Sure.
And try shit out and just kind of like stumble and just... They don't laugh if it's not funny. Plus, they're comedians.
That's true. They don't laugh anyway. We just walk looking at our own notebooks. They
just give you the eyebrows, and you're like, okay, that sucked. But you still try it, and that you only do that if you feel like you're in a safe space. I feel like
that's true. Yeah. Well, and I think you do it. You don't do it the first few times. When you show up, everybody. It's funny. I tell people, like, when you first go to a mic, do good material so people know you're funny, and then you can try your new crap.
Yeah.
You can eat it after that.
Yes.
Nobody thinks, they go, okay, he just had a bad night, or hey, he's working on new stuff, whatever. But yeah, when you first do it, you got to do good stuff.
All right, rule of thumb, right? That's a pro right there. That's a pro right there.
But no, man, it should be a say. I want people to be able to fail, you know. And even when I've had people come up and complain, hey, can you believe so and so did material about X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, yeah, but it is an open mic, he's a new comic. He's trying to do stuff that's maybe above his ability level. Like, just cut him some slack. Give him a time. We all try to do that. I think when you first start comedy, man, you're like, I want to be edgy. I want to do this. I want to do that. And, we're not good enough when we first start to tackle subjects that we want to tackle. It's like you need the time to develop that. And, so sometimes people will complain that people are doing stuff that's like off color or whatever. I'm like, it's an open mic. Yeah. They're allowed to fail. Try it out. They're allowed to. You got to.
Try it out. Yeah, no, and again, safe space, it matters. But the cool thing is, too, with the arts, and of course I'm biased, he's biased, comedy, right? I'll say it, I think it's the rawest art form there is, personally. But that's my bias. But there's so many other options. And when you talk about something like ASAP and the community, and like he said the word family a few times, we use it sometimes as a talking point, but it's facts. Like, it's real. When like blood makes you related, but love makes you family, and there's a genuine love in the room, but it's also a tough love. And it's also, hey, that kind of fucking sucked. What the fuck was that kind of love? All right, everybody, I don't know what the fuck he was just saying, but he's up next. Coming to the mic is,
he gave it a shot.
Yeah, but it's that tough love. And for veterans especially, or even if you're connected to a military family, transferable trauma, about tough love, and it's cool. But ASAP doesn't just do comedy. It does.
No, ASAP is amazing. It is. They have so many different art forms, and honestly, if there's an art form that you want to explore and they don't have it, they usually will be able to find a way to do it. And the coolest part is free for veterans, family members, all that. Nobody's trying to make a dime, and it's just to expose people to the arts. But the main thing that they do, and maybe this is why I started doing things the way I did, was that their goal is not to make stand-up comedians, or not to make, not most people don't do what I did, which was, get the bug and just leave and quit their job and run off and do this. Most of our students do it one time and they'll never do it again. Yeah. Or they'll take a different kind of art form, and then they find out that's their thing. Yeah. But the idea is that to create that community, to let people know that they're not alone. We've had people take classes like, man, I haven't left my house in 3 months, and all of a sudden now they're doing stand-up classes. You're like, okay, cool. You see the relationships of people that have gone through ASAP. Monica was my instructor. Now we call our guest room Monica's room, because she's there, at the house all the time. So yeah, I mean, it's really good at creating community, and it's really great at art forms. They get professional, good instructors to come in. It's not just, so it's my favorite organization that's out there, to be honest.
I love it. I'm telling y'all, try it out. Just try it out. And again,
there's nothing to lose. It's completely free. Family members, veterans, we're not quite as bad as USAA. If you went to a veteran. If you went to a Veterans Day parade once, you can be a USA member now. But we're not quite there, but it's pretty close.
Maybe one day. But it really is that, and I think that's a problem in our modern times, is that I forgot who said it, but it basically said that, if humans are so much made in the image of whatever we want to call, and the creator, like, we're made to create, and all we do is consume and consume and consume, and then we suppress things, and then it eats us from the inside out. So arts helps with that, and you're creating and you're connecting with other people. And for that person that was stuck in the house for 3 months, it gives them a reason to be accountable to going out. Yeah. And then being with like-minded people. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, just that idea of I can do this, and seeing that small success when they come out the first time and it's okay, and then they come out the second time, it's okay, and there's that intangible thing where it builds on their earlier successes, of saying, hey, I did this and it was okay, so I'm going to do it again. Yes. And if that gets people out of the house, if that gets people talking to other vets, if that gets people just not being holed up in their own head, I'm for it. You know what I mean? For it.
Yeah, you just never know what it can lead to, and that's why I tell a lot of people when we talk about the suicide prevention stuff. And I was sharing with you that Brad Bonar from 1 Degree of Separation, when he was on the show, and I'll get to asking you this question, but he said, what would you say to someone? He said, wait. And I caveat on that. I'm gonna just piggyback. I feel like I'm in a staff meeting now saying that shit. Let me anchor down right here, but.
Anchor down? That's a Marine thing, dude. We never said that.
Anchor down here. We got just a caveat.
We piggyback a lot. I've never anchored down, I assure you that.
Piggyback a little bit. But here's the point, though, is that we have no idea who or what is coming down the road of life. You know what I mean? So waiting sometimes and connecting with other people, because how I got with. So I came back from Japan. I've been doing comedy. Tim Lulis trained me back a long time ago in Tidewater at the Funny Bone in 2017.
757 guy.
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
And Kazi's and all of that. Then, active duty took shape, take form. I started some open mics, but I didn't really get to cut my teeth at all. I did some stuff in California. Then I went to Japan, and I was like, I need it. So I started open mic there. But when I got back to the States, I was like, how can I kind of just get back into it, get into a rhythm? And training works for me. Everybody, some comics, not classes. If somebody knows something, they could teach me it better. I'm all about it. I'm a student of life. So I got an ASAP. I met Angie Robinson.
Okay.
And she was in there because her father was a Marine.
Okay.
Right? But through Angie, she was like, come out to Shevitz. Met Shevitz. Saw Keith. Keith told me, you need to come to Dewayne's room too. Meet you. You know what I'm saying? Like it just, but it all started with ASAP. Didn't even know you were affiliated with ASAP. You weren't my instructor or anything like that.
No.
But through like the 3 degrees, 6 degrees, whatever of separation, it's like boom, boom, boom. But it all started with, fuck it, I'm going to do an online class because I can't make it in person.
Right.
And yeah, you know.
Oh, the online comedy class.
But you know, from my fast talking ass, it helped because it made me slow the fuck down, but I still don't do.
Yeah, same here. That's my biggest thing. Is I need to slow down. You know, I was just complaining to myself about that last night. It's like, dude, slow down. Especially when it's new stuff. I just want to run through it all the time. But yeah. But no, yeah, it was funny. I just become an instructor with ASAP when we went online. I was like, oh boy, this is, I don't know if we can do this. So we had to embrace it.
Yeah.
We had, you know, as instructors. And then ASAP did I mean, this is the kind of organization they are, is every Friday during the pandemic, they would have a show. It started with just stand up, and then they were like, okay, we'll do a different show. We'll do a music show. We'll do this online just to give people something to do so they weren't just sitting at home being miserable during the pandemic. And so we kind of had to really embrace it and figure out, how do we do this online comedy thing? And I did Zoom comedy. I did a lot of Zoom comedy, for better or worse, but dude, at the end of the day, it was great, you know, for me, because I got to, I got to meet people from all over the country, all over the world that now I still work with, you know, so it kind of opened up some doors.
Yes.
You know, it's all about networking, all about the people.
Yeah.
And, man, I wouldn't have done it if it hadn't been for ASAP kind of forcing my hand. I would have been
right.
All right, I'll just hold off. And then who knows? Maybe I wouldn't be doing this full time. Maybe I'd still be working for the government, and being miserable every day. Going in Dockers and a collared shirt.
Nice polo. You wore that 2 days in a row, bro. Yeah. Nice boat shoes. You don't even own a boat, Dewayne.
I will never wear boat shoes. Just for the record,
never
I have
wear
no boat
shoes,
and I will not wear boat shoes.
I don't own a boat.
I don't own a boat. I love it.
But for you though, getting into comedy, period. Like what was it? Because I know 23 years, and you're a Mustang. Shout out to the Mustangs of the world. If you know, you know.
Yes.
And 23 years. Well, that's me too.
22 years, 19 days.
There it is.
19 days, or something like that. 22 months, 22 years, 11 months, 19 days. That's
there it is. Hey, that makes the cut right there.
The only way I know this is because it's on my 4214.
Yeah,
like everybody says that, and it freaks people out. They're like, "Hey, this is how long I've been." And people go, "How do you know that?"
How do you know?
Because it's written on the dude.
It's on the paper.
I'm just letting it know.
It's in the top box, you know.
Yeah,
box.
we all know that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but so you go from active duty, Army, deployed, served and protected the Constitution all over the world, in a family, leave active duty.
Yeah.
Comedy?
Not quite, not just yet. I left active duty in 2015. I retired, and then I worked for a contractor as a contractor for 3 years, and then I worked as a government guy for 3 years. I was a GS doing nuclear weapons inspections in Russia. That was my last job. Yeah. That was, you didn't know that?
No, not like. I did. I heard you say it on another podcast, but I was just like, what?
This is the fun part, is I have no idea how nuclear weapons work. They just kept sending me. I spoke Russian, so that's the main thing. But I kind of grew up around that tree. But the way I started comedy is actually, I love the story. Is I was talking to my son. He was in high school at the time, getting ready. We were having all these college talks, and I had just taken this government job that I hated it, and I was miserable. I knew when I took it, I didn't want to do it. It was almost like, all right, this is the next step I have to do.
Yep.
You know, I was living somebody else's life, I think, rather than mine. And so I was having all these conversations with my son, like, follow your dreams. Don't do stuff just for the money. Don't do stuff just because that's what's expected of you. We're having all these conversations. And it came out. I was like I wanted to be a stand-up comic since I was 8 years old. Like, I knew my whole life that's what I wanted to do. And I said, I've never tried it. I'm pissed off at myself. I feel like a failure because I've never done the one thing I wanted to try. And as we're having these kinds of conversations, I went up to DC for a meeting, and there was a flyer for ASAP. And I swear to God, it was in a Starbucks. It said, "Are you a military veteran? Have you ever thought of trying stand-up comedy?" I swear to God. Wow. All right. Yeah, let's giddy up. I was like, I got to try this. And one thing led to another, and I got in the class, and I was, because I didn't know. I was like, well, I want to try it, see if I'm any good at it. Next thing you know, walking away from the government to do this full time, a couple years later. Yeah. So it was,
dude, that's
crazy.
Inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, dude, whatever. So I truly believe, man, if you're looking for what you're supposed to do, the universe or God or whatever you think it will drop in your lap.
Yes.
It really will. And
Yes.
and then it's like, then it's your job to grab it and go, okay, yeah, I'll do it, as
Yeah.
opposed to just like going, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was just an insane thing. I was like, if I don't do this, I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world.
Right, you're giving that same exact advice by the line.
Yeah. And I came home like, you're not going to believe this, man. I was like,
wow.
So yeah, and I signed up for the class. It was great. It was too much fun. And Monica was one of my instructors. And
That's
Allie
so
Cherry.
cool.
It was nuts. Yeah, when I first started.
That's so cool. So y'all hear that? Like, you don't have to just do, one thing. I think for us veterans, that's a hard part of it, is that it is so immersive into our soul. I do think it's always going to be a part of you. It's nothing to ever be ashamed of. But like, somebody could take this out of context, so know that I'm saying it with a certain intent. I don't want to just be a Marine in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just be a soldier. I don't want to just, I think too much, it's something to be definitely proud of, and you accomplished and you survived it and all that stuff. But like, too much of our identity gets wrapped into that. And then when it's gone, everything's gone. And I think you have to find other ways to have identities, not multi-personality disorder, no shit like that. But like, none of us in life are one thing,
Yeah, exactly. Well, for me, it was, I knew that's not what I wanted to do. And I think, and if you want to go back in, like for me, I walked out of a building that I'd been in uniform, and I walked back into that building. And, so I had the relationships.
Right.
They knew me from before, all this stuff. So it was kind of like maintaining that same identity a little bit.
Yeah.
And I knew that's not what I wanted to do. And I'd said that my whole life, that's not what I wanted to do. And if that's what people want to do, if that's what you do your thing.
Do it.
I knew for me, it wasn't what I wanted to do. I was doing it because I felt like it was the norm. And you just kind of follow doing the thing that, everybody kind of expects you to do. And it made me miserable, and again, it was a job that everybody would have killed for. It was a great job. I had, it was good money. It was fun job. Everybody wanted to do it. But just for me, I knew I was in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And that drove me crazy. It made me nuts. And that's what it was, knowing that I was in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing. I think that probably, came close to pushing me over the edge when I went through the bad depression, which is weird because, if anybody looking from the outside is like, what do you got to be depressed about? You got to, you're making well over 6 figures. You got retirement, you got a family, you got a house, you got all these things. Like, why are you depressed? And that's what we do a lot of times. I think is we go, oh, well, why are you? We kind of analyze it from the outside.
That's right.
And, you don't see the inside. Like, okay, well, but I'm miserable. This is not what I want to do. And I would spend nights at home just lamenting to my wife to the point where she was sick of it. She's like, I'm done hearing it. And, all credit to her. When we did decide to pull the trigger and leave the government, that's a scary thing because I'm the only person the breadwinner. She doesn't work. I wish she would get a job.
She worked. She definitely.
She works. She produces all the comedy stuff because I'm on the road all the time. So I give her shit. Hey baby, I love you. If you can see this,
She will fuck you up.
But if you get a job, that'd be cool. It'd be awesome. Maybe sell feet pics. I don't know. It's fine. We get that pool is not going to pay for itself. But I'm just saying, I can't pay for the pool and chicken fingers, which is what we get paid sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing is, we were having those discussions, and God forbid, or God bless her for, when we did decide to pull it, she was supportive.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I think we got enough saved up where we can do this for a year. That was our plan when we originally punched, and I was like, I think we can do it for a year. What do you think? She's like, oh, if you think we can do it,
really,
let's go.
That's so cool.
Like, all right. Well, it doesn't hurt that she has no idea what her financial situation is. I could hide millions of dollars offshore. She has no idea. Dude, we play a game at the house that if she asks me, like, hey, can I buy X, Y, and Z? I go, if you can tell me within $1,000 what our checking account balance is, you can buy whatever you want. and she never, ever has a clue. I don't even think she can log in.
Oh,
like,
shit.
I could hide millions of dollars somewhere.
I need to try that.
It's crazy. But, and it's not that she doesn't want to do the money or that she couldn't do it. She could manage it, but she didn't want to. So I was like, and I didn't want to either, but she didn't want to more. And
She didn't want to do more.
So I lost that fight. So for the last 28 years I've been doing it. But but no, I mean, she was super supportive, and I mean that was the key. It wasn't like she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're going to do this to us or anything like that. And she went through kind of a phase of that where and we still do when I talk about stuff like, if we want to move and stuff like that. But, having that person that was super supportive, even though, that was scary.
Yes,
scary
it
to
is.
me.
It's very scary
to be like, I'm going to leave this secure job.
That's it.
And, where I know they can't, well, until recently, I know they couldn't fire me because I was a government employee and I had tenure, but apparently that's out the window nowadays. We're not doing politics. But,
well, the reason why I got kicked out because of Doge. That's what I've been telling people.
You got Doge?
I got Doge on active duty. I'm fucking kidding. People laugh at it, though.
I got Doge.
Fuck Elon. I got Doge on active duty, but sorry. Kidding.
I did get Doge recently. I have a job where I teach leadership. It's on a government contract a couple days a month, and they used to pay me for like a certain amount of hours. And they called me when Doge was up. I'm like, hey, we're gonna keep you, but we're cutting your pay in half. I'm like, that's fine.
That's fine.
I don't give a shit. Dude. That's fine. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's a good run.
I made it.
It makes such a difference, though. To be willing, because that is a big thing with being in service. Now, you don't know where you're going to live in the next year, and you don't know if you're going to die in the next year by what position you're put in, but you do know you're going to get paid. You're going to have TRICARE, and you're going to have a housing allowance and BAS and all those kinds of things. And when you come from what we've shared, and I've heard you express your childhood, like for me, I grew up very unstable, moved more times than I moved more as a kid than I did in the Marine Corps. The longest house I ever lived with was on active duty as a sergeant. Like, you know what I mean? That's the longest house. Wife, very similar background. So for us, it was like, oh my God, like the rug is out. You know what I mean? Like everything else was totally unsecure, including my mental health, et cetera, et cetera. But we do know these things, and that was.
You don't have to worry. You're gonna have a job.
But when you're out, that's not the case anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. The scariest year of my life. People ask me all the time, like, what was the scariest thing you ever did? Getting out was the scariest thing I ever did. For a year, I don't think I slept. I was so paranoid. Like, dude, I'm gonna live under a bridge somewhere. We're gonna run out of money. And everybody's like, dude, shut up. That's stupid. You're gonna be fine. How many people do you know? And I was like, all right, but no jobs were coming in, and then all of a sudden, the job offer just started dropping in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be fine. But it was scary.
Yeah, it's
I've
very
never
scary.
been that scared. I mean, I joke that every veteran has made the spreadsheet. It's like, this is how much money I have. This is how much I spend every month. It's like, this is how many months I have till I got to start sucking dick in an alleyway for money.
It's the fucking truth.
We've all made that spreadsheet. Like, oh my God, we're fucked.
Oh man,
it was. But yeah, that was a scary year, man.
Yeah,
it was a scary, and but it was like I knew it was time. It was like I got to get out. I'm done with this stuff, and but yeah, like you're saying, it was always instability, but it was a stable instability. Like you never knew what was coming next in the military, but you knew that you and your family were going to be at least like taken care of.
You're basic like almost all the boxes on your Maslow hierarchy of needs are fucking checked.
Yeah.
Life and all all that shit. That's
maybe
another
not
thing.
The top, but
but if even if that happens, they're gonna be real good. So I'm cool. You know what I mean? They're gonna be real well off.
Yeah.
But that's something that I think I definitely didn't feel it until I started doing exactly what you're saying. I literally made that list and going,
we all do, man.
Oh shit, and your shit just cuts, because in a lot of things that I think, if I'm talking to veterans out there or anyone who knows one, a lot of the money we make isn't the base pay.
No.
And at best, you're going to get a percentage of the base pay, not the BAH and the BAS and family separations and deployment money.
Well, especially living in D.C. where you're getting, so much money for housing.
Yes.
It's all tax-free and all that. Now you got to do all those equations and stuff like that. I mean, I had a lot of people help me out, when I got out. That was good. A lot of people give me their, give me advice. Some was good, some was bad.
Right.
But the one I didn't take that I wish I had taken, people said, hey, man, just enjoy this year. Because I had a year after I dropped paperwork, and just the wait, and because I just PCS, so they were real happy when I dropped paperwork.
You didn't have 2 years on station. What the fuck?
You just got here. I'm like, yeah, but I hate this job. Shout out to DIA. You
Appreciate
guys suck. But no, it was So I wish I'd have taken that advice and just enjoyed it a little bit more, because immediately, as just in general, as dudes, as military people, as just the breadwinner in the house. I mean, immediately you start thinking about your responsibilities. I got to take care of my family. I got to take care of myself. I got to do all these things, and everything becomes just a giant, is a crazy job search, just like a nuts kind of thing, man. So it was a weird time. That was a scary time. I slept better in Iraq in
true.
OIF1 than I did for that year, man. It was crazy.
It's true. The hardest part of getting to those places is getting there and leaving. Once you're there, all right,
here it is.
Here's my battle rhythm. All right.
Yeah.
Family's getting paid. Yeah, it's tough, and it's something to really consider for anyone out there. But I'm in that boat, so that's why I'm kind of seeking advice at the same time, because I don't want to make And what I think we go down the wrong path sometimes is we make decisions out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can get trapped
Yeah.
into something that maybe you weren't, and then it's going to deteriorate. You may have that 6 figures right now, but the quality of your life,
Yeah.
and then who you show up as dad or as husband or as big brother or friend, that people don't realize how much that is affected and impacted to where you may only be having a 60% output at best, when you could be having a 90% output of being a quality, healthy, overall human being.
Well, and there's I remember reading all those studies, like, hey, there's an X number, there's a certain amount, and I think, I don't know what the number was.
It's probably like it was like $70,000.
$70,000, and they said after that, it doesn't really give you any quality of life. Now, that wasn't based on DC prices
or modern times,
or
but
modern times at all. But yeah, I mean, there's a point where you're like, okay, I'm good. Like, as long as my bills are paid, and I don't have to worry about money. Like, I don't have to like sit there and penny pitch about like, oh, can I have a dessert at a restaurant? I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the other thing that I noticed that, and this is not scientific or anything, but I noticed as soon as I made that decision to walk away from the thing that was killing me, things just started dropping into place, and it was crazy. And I have this, and I'm probably not saying this the right way, but I think if you're doing the thing that you're supposed to do, if you're in line with what you're supposed to do, the universe will give you the things that it will take care of you. And I know that sounds all airy-fairy in California and shit.
I love it.
But like immediately after I quit, first of all, I had no regrets after I sent that letter, 0 regrets, and then all of a sudden my disability got raised to 100%, which was a game changer. And then all of a sudden this other company was like, hey, you're a stand-up comic with leadership time. Will you come teach once or twice a month for us? I'm like, yeah, let's go. And it was, we'd been talking for over a year, but nothing had happened. All of a sudden, boom, spot opened up. It's like, hey, you want this? I'm like, yep. And I've been there doing that for 5 years, so which helped with the income and all that, which allowed me, and I have a CEO that was for that company. It's like, hey man, I know comedy's your number one. So if something happens, we got you.
That's amazing.
You got to break away. And they've been great, and those kind of things just don't happen very often, you know, and it just fell into my lap when things just kind of started happening. And, kind of like that flyer. It's like, okay, this is the path you're supposed to take. You know what I mean?
I firmly believe in that. We block a lot of blessings in life sometimes. We just block them.
I think so.
Out of survival or out of whatever. There's also trauma with growing up in poverty and different stuff. It's not like, people hear the word trauma, but there's levels to it. But like, you want to avoid that.
People that were raised poor like we were are terrified about being poor again.
Paranoid.
It's terrifying.
It's paranoid.
And I worked my ass off to not live in a trailer.
Or
to not, and to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is. There's a real fear. People that grew up poor are very scared of going back. And I was like, man, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
And I don't want to do it with my family and stuff. Worked hard to get somewhere and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's I do believe that. I just think when you're doing the right thing, things kind of start falling into place for you.
So take a chance. Don't be irresponsible though. Like, you don't need to be on a corner in San Francisco sucking dick and playing guitar, being like,
unless
Dewayne
that's
said,
your dream.
If that's your dream. Yeah, no, I appreciate you expanding on that, man. But you did express some of the dark times. Yeah. And during those times, what were some like tangible things? What were some of your reasons for getting out of those dark times? I'll just say it like that. Some of the things that helped, or
well, I'll tell you what helped originally. So that time was, it was 2020 got really bad for me, and I know everybody was. I always joke, I'm a bandwagon guy. Whatever. Yeah. I got depressed in 2020. I've been depressed for a long time. I just hadn't admitted it. And with the job and with doing that and wanting to do something else and feeling like I wasn't able to, I felt like I was hamstrung and that the stuff in my life was keeping me from doing it. And that could have been anything. I could have been said like, hey, my family's keeping me from doing what I want to do. My job's keeping me from what I want to do, whatever it was. But I just kind of started feeling hopeless. It sounds crazy, but my wife was kind of on me, and she eventually made me call the VA's crisis line.
Really?
And I was out, dude. As a guy, I was like, man, I do not. That's not me. I'm not there. All this. And finally, it just got to the point. I mean, I was just, I'd be sitting in my basement just crying for no reason. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, okay, fine. I'm gonna call him and get some help. Because I tried. Well, what really started pushing me over the edge was I was trying to find some help on my own. Dude, it's hard.
It's hard.
We just got to acknowledge that. That's what almost pushed me over the edge. I was like, does no one want to help me? Yeah, I just could not find the resources. I couldn't do it. I couldn't So finally, I called the crisis line, and they were great. And, I've talked about this before. They talked me off the edge, and everything was great until they put me in touch with the bitch that makes appointments. And then it got ugly. She's like, "Oh man, we need to get you help. We can see you in 8 weeks." I'm like, "I don't think you understand what crisis means."
Yeah, no shit. Thing. Yes.
And I literally went, "This is why 22 vets a day kill themselves." And I hung up the phone, and they called me back. It was like, "How's 9 a.m. tomorrow?" I'm like,
"Yeah,
ding, here we go. There's your life hack, everybody."
There it is.
That's all you got to say. But and they were, at first it was frustrating because it felt like all they wanted to do was give me meds. And as a guy, I was just like, dude, I had fought that my whole life. I had therapists tell me to take these meds, take this, and they did. They put me on meds, and it actually started helping a little bit. But then, what got me out of it the most was this. I still work with her today. This therapist from the VA. She was amazing. She called out of nowhere, just out of nowhere. I mean, I was still sitting there like, dude, this is crazy. Yeah, I'm on the meds, but I'm not really doing anything to get better for long term. Am I just supposed to take these drugs forever? And that's what's going to do it. And she calls me out of the blue. She's like, hey, we're doing this. I get this study thing that I'm doing. Would you be a part of it? And I was like, yeah, let's go. It's something. And she took me through cognitive behavioral therapy, which I'd never done before. I'd always done this. The talk therapy where I basically just go, hey, my mom sucked and here I am, right, or whatever. And so she started doing that, and it just kind of helped reframe the way I thought of stuff. And I realized that I was creating things in my brain that were far worse than reality.
Yes.
I was over exaggerating things. I was thinking, and she really helped me reframe things.
Yes.
And then we started talking about we said, hey, I want to leave my job and do comedy full time. And I'm scared to death of that because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so we sat there and worked out a plan. I was just talking about this yesterday in a class. We worked out a plan and said, okay, this is the big thing I want to do. And then we backed it off to less risky, to the point where I swear to God, the very first thing was go to a restaurant you haven't gone to before. Like that level of it's of non-risk, or go to a place and order something you haven't gone to before.
Yeah.
It was a dumb thing to say, but wear your AirPods in public, because I was always like, have your head on a swivel, right? Don't be distracted, and little things like that where I would take small risks, and it let me know that it was okay. That even if something went bad, like what's the worst thing that happens if I order something at a restaurant I didn't order for? I get a meal I didn't like. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Right. Which, but it sounds silly, but it's those little dinky small changes that then led to being able to try bigger risks. And it got to the point literally where she was on vacation for a couple weeks, as she came back, and this was like going to be a year-long process. And she came back, she's like, so what's going on? I was like, well, I quit my job. And she's like, that was supposed to be like a year, 6 months from now. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I worked my way up.
Fucking took the initiative.
Here we go.
I go hard.
I saw an opportunity. I saw a crack in the wire, and I breached it. Goddamn it. But yeah, it was those little things, and it helped me know that there were people that actually gave a shit.
Yes,
which was nice, and it let me know that some of what I was worst case scenarioing everything in my head. Everything's not that big. Okay, I can back off of this, right?
Yeah.
And I still struggle with a lot of that stuff all the time, and I'm still working through it, and she got me doing mindfulness and meditation, and I grew up in a church where where it was like, oh, that's all crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's the devil. That's the flesh right there, boy.
Yeah, okay. And I was like, and mindfulness stuff, and just journaling and doing all those things, it really did help a lot. And kind of got me off the edge. I mean, she showed me the charts a few years ago, like the places where I was, like the suicidal side of where I was on depression and anxiety and all that, and it was so high. And then as we went through this, it just the chart, you can't argue with it. It's just like a downward slope. It was great.
That's fucking tight.
Yeah, and still had the meds and all that, but and those definitely helped. But yeah, dude, it was just that idea of finally having somebody reach out and go, hey, I want to help you.
Yes.
It's great. And I think, honestly, the doctors at the VA are great. I think the people that are at the VA that want to help you are great. The problem is just getting to them. Getting past the people that make appointments, and getting past the system and getting in. Once you're in with them, I think they're good. It's just a matter of getting there. That's the most frustrating part for most vets, I think.
Yeah. No, I love how you express it, and thank you for your honesty and just sharing it, because somebody out there, I needed to hear it. And I'm sure somebody listening right now needs to hear it, because we do have that doom and gloom. And for years, worst case scenario thinking saved us.
Yeah.
And that's how we get trained. And that sense of urgency and that.
I love your joke about that.
Yeah.
It's not paranoia.
It's not paranoia. It's situational awareness.
It's not perfectionism. It's attention to detail.
Attention to detail, dude. Alcoholic? No, I'm motivated.
No,
I'm
exactly.
dedicated.
No, I care about the mission.
Yeah, I care about the mission. We take that and we apply it to every aperture of our life, and it doesn't resonate the same when it's talking about loading the dishwasher. You know what I mean? Like it's not that or that meal. That's not what you liked or whatever. But we do have that mentality. Yep. So we just have to again reframe. But the biggest thing, if y'all were catching it and if you were listening, which if you didn't, go back a few minutes when this man just shared that you didn't just say one thing. You didn't just say there was one thing. It was like I call it like a wellness omelet.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like you'd be on ship and you'd be like, everything omelet. And you know somebody's fucking breath is gonna stink, but they're just like, they're too lazy to say ham and cheese and a little bit of tomatoes. They're just like everything. Because it's not just one thing. And he even still said, humbly, he's still working through it, right? But I'm not where I wanna be, or perfection, I don't think that exists on this planet or in this universe, but I'm not where I was, and this progression in this whole journey. But it wasn't just one thing, it's doing this thing. And then the other thing that jumped out of me was you interacted with a genuine human. Number one, your wife suggesting and advising. And then the other part was...
I would say more than suggesting.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure there was a knife hand in that motherfucker. Yeah. She's very firm and direct.
She's like, what the hell? Yeah, my wife is a German, so she doesn't fuck around.
There's no bullshit. There's no Southern hospitality. She'll fucking tell you, let you know what it is. I love it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I love it. I love it when we're at shows and people are talking. She's like, "You need to go," and it's like, "Oh shit, we're already at level 7.
You need to shut the fuck up.
You need to go. You need to. She'll go right up to the table. You need to go. So fuck around and have too much table talk. She'll get you.
She will get you.
She'll get you. But no, having her encourage you, so that's the genuine empathy from someone you love and trust, that knows you inside and out, that genuinely gives a fuck. But then eventually getting to the individual, the doctor you've been working with. I'm working with somebody really great right now too, but it's that genuine empathy, not Dewayne, pity and sympathy. Fucking empathy. I'm gonna work with you and meet you where you're at. First step in any kind of fucking helping somebody is meet them where they're at, and then we're gonna make a plan and we're gonna move forward this, because they always know, you gotta know your audience tangibly. We want to fucking see what's the fucking plan, what's the end state, what's the fucking, you know what I mean? What's the coordinated instructions?
Am I doing this forever? Are we just gonna roll through this? Yeah.
But it is this, like, it wasn't just meditation. It wasn't just medication. Like, those things they have their place, but it's not. I'm trying to level set everyone's expectations out there. You're not going to make one phone call to one doctor and get one medication and be perfect the rest of your life. No. That's unreasonable. And I think that's our problem as Americans. We always want the one-stop shop instant solution, or it's just people in general in 2026. It doesn't work like that. It works like what you explained, and you're still working.
Yeah, and it still does. I mean, just a few weeks ago, I was like, I had a breakdown. I was like, dude, everything's. But the good thing about that is it gives you the tools to go. If you can pull yourself just back for a little bit and go, okay, let me look at this and reframe it.
Yes.
Let me ask the questions. Like, is what I'm feeling real?
Yes.
A friend of mine just told me this a couple weeks ago. It was such a good advice she gave me. She goes, everything, just because you feel it doesn't mean it's real.
Yes.
And I was like, damn.
Yes.
That hit me right between the eyes, because I was like, dude, I feel things so many times, and I'm like, oh my God, and I just worst case it out. And if I can take that time to step back and go, okay, is that really real?
Yeah.
Or is that really possible? And we do that, especially like military planning. What's the most likely, what's the most dangerous courses of action, right? What's going to happen? And it's very rarely the most dangerous, course of action that actually happens. It's somewhere in between. And so that kind of stuff really helps. And having people that you can call and they can go, hey man, chill out. You're fine. Yeah. It's going to be okay.
Tone it down a notch there, sport.
Hey, you good? You good? Like,
good?
And to let you talk through stuff.
You need those people.
To say that, don't go, oh, you're being stupid, man. You're fine. Like, look, I got it that you feel this way, but let's look at it and see if it's real. That's invaluable.
I was talking with Jen Adams that runs the room in Comedy Lounge out in Boise. She's amazing.
Great room, by the way. So much fun.
Shout out Comedy Lounge. I got the sticker on this laptop I'm filming on right now.
Blast out there a few months ago.
She's so cool. She said that when she was talking about depression, somebody said, well, you should do Pilates. And she was like, the fuck is that going to do right now? You know what I mean? Like, you don't need that. Like, we need people to have empathy and to let you vent and to and to know you well enough to be like, maybe fucking Pilates isn't the answer. We're not at that stage yet of when you're in the thick of it. Like,
and to give someone such a obvious answer, like, or not obvious. That's such a short, hey, do this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, have you tried this? Like, maybe, like, yeah, working out works. Working
It
out helps.
does.
It helps with depression. It's right. Honestly, you know, the studies show that working out helps almost as much in some cases as depression meds.
It does.
You know, to get you past it. And so it's like, but it's such a combination of things.
Yes, combination.
Take the meds, and I fought meds for years.
Yeah, same here.
For years. I remember the first time someone offered or told me I should take them was 2009. And I was like, if that's all you're gonna do, I literally walked out of the dude's office because I was like, I don't believe in that shit.
Yep.
Right. And I look back as a parent, you know, I kept my daughter. I should have given her ADD meds a decade earlier than I did, but I was like, and I think it had to be that kind of, I had to have that kind of paradigm shift in what I thought was okay. You know, in that sense, because I was so anti, you know, because I don't want to do this shit forever.
Right.
I'd like to get to the point where I can control it myself. Until then,
it's a process.
I just keep doing it.
Yeah, no, it's a process.
It's helpful, is what it is.
No, I had to anchor down there because so many of us. First off, if you're depressed, don't feel too bad because stupid motherfuckers are never depressed. It comes from a lot of overthinking. I got him right over there on that wall over there. Cognitive distortions, right? Like it's so
we
real.
Overthink it so bad.
And CBT, it really does. What I got taught was the 4 C's: to catch it, check it, change it. 3 C's. Why the fuck did I add another C?
No, you're
anyway,
Marine.
Yeah,
Counting
just
is
adding
hard.
letters
Counting
and shit.
stuff.
But yeah, to catch it, and I think that's what the meds can do. It puts you in a state to where you can catch it more better, but you also learn the tools to where you can check it and then you can eventually change it. And that's why this whole show started, was Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, shut the fuck up. No, she said change your attitude. You know what I mean? So you have to be willing to be water, my friends, and try different things. Because I was so anti-meds, bro. I was like, I'm so fucking like, motherfucking medical institutions, they making more money
in the
than me.
military, dude. Yeah. I remember people having their clearances yanked because they were on Prozac. Back in the early 2000s.
Yes,
like,
it was
that. It was that much of a stigma. People are like, oh, we've always been. No, it was such a stigma.
That SF-86 form is updated as of 2012. It wasn't then.
Yeah, well, but they'd started to make it a little bit better. But yeah, it was bad. It's like, have you ever done that? And taking meds, and that was one of my excuses. Was no, I can't do this. I'll lose my clearance. I'll lose all this other stuff. And because I had seen it happen. And you know, if people say that it wasn't like that, it was a huge stigma. It's better now. I don't think it's solid yet, but it's better. But man, it was bad in the 90s and early 2000s. It was bad as far as the stigma goes. You were not supposed to be that guy. You were just supposed to suck it up and deal with it. And you know, you can go drink yourself to death, but don't take a Prozac.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? It's like, wait a goddamn minute.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense, dude.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
I remember seeing people walked out of a skiff because they went and got Prozac.
Yep.
I was like, this is nuts.
Yeah, there's so much ignorance now to where we've advanced. Like I said, that SF-86 form, it even says on there, right on there, like counseling in and of itself is not a deterrent or not a disqualifier. It can actually be a qualifier and an advantage because it shows you have personal accountability. Why do most people lose their clearances in 2026? Because you're E3 with a Bugatti and you're talking to a girl from Russia on Facebook. Motherfucker. That's why. Okay? It's financial reasons.
Which I get it. Russian girls are hot.
But we're not there yet, but it's better than it ever was before, for sure. But there's just a lot of old, news, and then there's people that fucking, they sit there and they go, well, I couldn't re-enlist because I went and talked to the chaplain and I went and sought some help. No, bitch, you can't re-enlist because you're fat as fuck and you suck at your job. I was gonna go to Marine security guard training at the embassy and shit, but I had talked to the military family life counselor. I can't go no more. No, bitch, you suck at your job. Thank you for your service. Here's your DD 214. But when they say that shit at a cookout, all the young ones go, "Oh fuck, I want to go to the embassy duty, and I don't want to." But what saves face? So there's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of that. I think less than 1% lose it because of mental health reasons, and if it is,
it's got to be something serious, like if it caused violence.
It's like that fucker at boot camp that shouldn't have been there, and you looked online, you're like, oh shit, and then
the dude, it's just like they have crazy eyes. They probably shouldn't have let him in.
Schizophrenic Steve was gone, like they just carried their little duffel bags out, and you never saw them again.
You just reminded me of somebody from basic training. I forgot all about them.
They were probably there.
Crazy.
Yeah, and that's fair, and that's good, but. The biggest thing is the longer you don't deal with your shit, the more it will deal with you, and that will impact all of the people around you. And it's not perfect. seeking help and staying around. But I said the same thing you said. I was at Sewell's Point Medical in Norfolk, and I sat in there and I looked at, they were giving me the runaround, and I went in there in camis. I was an E7 at the time, and I went in there in a full sweatsuit, and I had my head down. Like, this is how deep the stigma was for me. And I was like, I need to talk to somebody, And they eventually, my little brother was an E4 in the Navy at the time. They put me with this E3, and I was E7. And I looked up and I was like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but get the fuck away from me. I wanted to talk to a fucking doctor. And they're like, well, I'm just, if you could tell me how you feel. I was like, get the fuck away from me. Yeah. Like, no. And I left that motherfucker, and I said, y'all fucking wonder why. Yeah. I didn't say the 22, but I said, you fucking wonder why. And that's not the best way to leave a medical facility when you've already been checked in. So they get you. But it did take to that level. Yeah, it was. And it took me a long time to even do the meds because, and I had an analogy broken down to me. A guy told me, he said, man, we run up this mountain all the time. And it was a mountain. And he told me the analogy. He said, well, when you run up that mountain, Cam, you got a pack on your back that's ill-fitted, and if the rocks are all disassembled. So you're good right now to keep going up there, and you'll still win and beat everybody. But every time you go up that mountain with that pack on, can you do that? Think about the multiple skeletal issues it's going to do. Think about, can you do that in 10 years, in 5 years, or whatever like that? He said, look, you still got to give up the mountain. You're still capable. But what if I gave you something that could take the pack off? And I was like,
yeah, that's the thing.
That was the analogy for it. And that's what's the thing. You still got to go through life. You still got to, I've never been high on like SSRIs. No. Like, I just don't go as low.
Yeah, I think that's it. What I was saying, take the edge off to give you that extra time to kind of look at things a little more rationally. Yeah,
just a little bit.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's not the game changer.
No.
But it was enough of a game changer to then allow you that combined with therapy, combined with
community,
combined with people will help.
Yes,
and that's what frustrates I think a lot of people is a lot of times it feels like that's how it felt for me at the beginning until that one doc called. It felt like they were just throwing drugs at me, and I've heard a lot of veterans say that. It just feels like they're just throwing meds at me,
checking the box.
Yeah. And I've talked to so many people that's what they feel, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but that's the bare minimum. That's not going to actually help you. That's adding an oil additive to your engine instead of fixing a leak.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah. So. No, that's a good analogy, and we need that, and you need to remember that if you are pursuing that, if you're open to that, it takes a lot of us to even make the phone call. It takes a lot of us to even walk into medical, and then if we're met with a fucking rude bitch at the fucking counter or a rude dick, whatever you want to call them, asshole. Bitches are gender neutral, so there's some bitch ass dudes too. Some bitch ass dude at the counter.
Good caveat, man. I like that.
You like that? I anchored down there for a second. Piggyback.
Cam doesn't want to get canceled.
I don't want to get canceled, but
it takes a lot to go in there. So when you're met with that resistance, or you feel the runaround, or you feel checking the box, man, you can just make somebody isolate even more. Which isolation is the worst thing we can do in those things, because connection is the biggest protective factor against suicide. The number one is connection. So to find ways to connect, but like you said, it's not just one thing. It's to me, it's like a wellness omelet, and I'm still trying to figure it the fuck out every single day.
Every day.
But I'm not as dark as I once was. But I will tell you, just a few weeks ago, candidly, between me and you, we were going somewhere, and my son was going through something, and I wanted to make sure I hid the gun just in case. And one of the guns, and I went to look for it, and I couldn't find it. And I was like, where's my fucking gun? And my wife was like, you've been real dark. My mother died, and I laid on this floor where you're sitting right now. I just cried one day, and she came and she said, I'm here for you. And she gave me my meds to kind of bring me down, and she just let me have my moment. And she didn't come in there and go, oh my God, are you okay? Is it me? Do you not love me? You know what I mean? But I was like, wow, she took the initiative because she just didn't know how dark I was actually being. But if you saw me a few weeks ago, you wouldn't have known. You know what I mean?
We're real good at hiding it.
Oh my God, it's called maintaining military bearing.
Yeah, we're real exactly. We're real good at hiding that stuff, and we had to be, because it's like we had to get that way.
There's a time and a place,
and that is hard too, because it's way easier to just be like, if your wife comes up, it's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? It's like, I'm fine. Leave me the fuck alone. Yeah. And it takes a lot more vulnerability, and it takes a lot of trust in between you and your spouse, or you and your friends, to drop that kind of stuff. Like, hey, I'm having a shitty time. I'm struggling with some things, and and luckily hopefully you have a friend that or a few friends that'll be like, all right, hey, let's talk. Let's get together. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things my therapist told me to do recently is like, reach out to a couple of friends and have some people to talk to about whatever situation, you know, you're going through and stuff like that. And you know, because you can't just rely on the therapist, you know, you got to talk to other people and stuff. And what I've also learned in this, and this is the same when I was, you know, even when I was doing church stuff, is like when I would open up about something, almost 9 times out of 10, the person I'm opening up to goes, man, I've been dealing with the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
It's like they go, oh man, I did this. I had the same issue, or I'm having the same issue right now. I'm so glad to talk to somebody else. And they're like, you may be helping them just as much if you ask them.
Yes.
Or, you know, if you open up to them. So,
yes,
you know, it's kind of weird how that works, but
it does. It does. But there's that, again, connection.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that humans, that's the only way we ever do it. There's no history of a human ever doing anything on their own. We always do it in connection or through others. Even like the Bible or anything theology is still something working through people to make it happen. So there's power in that. And again, isolation is the worst thing, and when you feel like that, you do feel so fucking alone, and you want to be alone, and it's the worst thing for you. So when you share it with someone else, and they may not even have shared it yet, now they don't feel alone, and you're there together, commiserating, bonding, whatever the fuck you want to call it, man. But you're not alone, and that's the worst place to be. And I try to tell people all the time, you know, don't let one person be the fail. Like if this one person doesn't answer, well, nobody cares. That's not true. Hit somebody else up. Reach out to somebody. They could have been busy. They could have been going through their own shit. They might have had their phone on silent because they're fucking doing something else. Mm-hmm. You just never know what somebody else is going through. And that's for all of us. So try somebody else, because I would much rather hear somebody's fucking life story than to hear your eulogy and think, what could I have done? What could have been different? And
for sure,
you know, it's terrible. I mean, I know and that's not to make anybody feel shamed or to shame people into making the right decisions, but more people want to help than you know. And I'll say in the impediment that you had when you first left active duty and you sought help and you were like, I just can't fucking get to the right people. There is a new thing out there for anybody out. I'll share it in the show notes, but it's called M2VA. And when I left, I was like, oh shit, I'm losing my health care. I'm losing everything. I hit up M2VA and they assign you now a social worker that will get you plugged into the system on everything. And she has helped me with getting my claim moved, with getting into mental health, with getting into, and I've only EAS since February 28th was my last day. Nice. And I'm already in there. But the help was there, but you have to go seek it. They don't just give it to you.
The system is not built. They're trying to make it better.
But that's new. That's new.
Yeah. I mean, I do think they're trying to make it better. I do believe that overall they're trying to make it better. But it is so cumbersome because it's so big and it's so crazy.
Big. It's overwhelming.
And it is overwhelming. They got so many people in the system. They got so many people, you know, so if you can learn to navigate the system, you can get the help, but you got to learn to navigate that system. And that's so hard, man.
Yes.
It's so hard. And I think that's the biggest thing that hinders people from getting help medically or mentally.
Yes.
You know, from like the VA is just, that system is overwhelming. And they work, you know, it used to be that way just for claims, and they figured that out, let other people do it.
Yep.
You know, so it's good that they're figuring that out too with that MTVA thing. That, you know, they're letting other people that know the system help guide you through the system, because otherwise, by the time you figure the system out, I'm gonna be 90. So it doesn't matter.
And let's be real, like TAPS and the transition readiness seminar, the transition assist, that shit, you know what that's for, everybody? There's a reason why the Department of Labor briefs you. It's well intended, but it's to keep unemployment rates down for veterans, because they're tired of seeing jobless veterans being homeless, and it's a bad look. It's a stain on them. So they teach you how to do resumes and all that shit. But I didn't know about something. I was subjective. I had a retired Army First Sergeant. She was amazing, but that was subjective. That's not the standard. But there's so much more than what you can get crammed in those 3 or 5 days. But
I think I know who you had, actually.
Yeah. I had, well, I ain't gonna say her name, but she's she's an author. She's a good person, but she was a good instructor. But that was subjective because that was just, I got lucky with a good human that genuinely cared. But that's not the going rate all the time. But In Transition is a DoD program now where you can sign up for. How I found out about M2VA was I went through In Transition. So like they check on you, they call you, they're like, so they can kind of plug you into things. And one of the things they plugged me into was M2VA. So if anybody's going through that transition, and there's no time lapse on it. Like if you got out in 2015, you could still sign up for it now, and they can plug you into different shit. So we're not where we need to be, but we're better than we were, and we just got to keep on progressing and keep moving the ball forward, I think, because we just got to know that people care about us, because that's one of the places that you feel like nobody gives a fuck and nobody knows. And then hello, isolation. Hello, downward spiral. And it's just not cool. What are some things recently that's been working for you in your journey?
Meditation, a lot.
Yeah.
Calling friends, a lot. I mean, and I have, again, I have started doing the therapy thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just kind of actually doing a real evaluation, going, hey, what's going well for me? What's not going well for me? What are some things I got to change? What are some things I got to update? Because I think for a while there, I got kind of complacent with it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good. I don't need to go through. I don't need to do these things anymore. I've been fine.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, it just like comes back and slaps you in the back of the head.
That's so true.
I think really just going back to the fundamentals that
Yes.
I learned of like, let's back off of these things. Let's take a look at it. Let's do the things I learned in CBT.
Yeah.
That's been working a lot. The meditation helps a lot. Actually, it was a VA app that they first gave me. Believe it or not, it was like at the time it was called like COVID partners. I forget what it was called, but it was some kind of VA thing that had some mindfulness stuff on it.
Yeah.
It was short. It was like a little couple 2-minute things. And I was like, that really helps just to focus. Because my mind will wander forever. And it's just bringing me back to where I am, where I'm centered in. And it sounds so cheesy sometimes, but there's this one exercise that she gave me. It's like the 5 things. It's like you look at find 5 things that you can look at, 4 things you can feel, and you go through all your senses. 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can
Grounding.
smell, and 1 that you can. And it sounds so lame. It's like grounded, but it's like if my mind is freaking going somewhere and I do that, it's like, oh, I'm here now.
Kind of reels you in a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it sounds so dumb. It's
It
so
does.
weird.
It does.
But and I would have made fun of that.
Oh
back
my
in the
God,
day.
dude.
Like, oh, you're gonna.
Yeah, you're regrounding.
Yeah,
I'm gonna walk on the grass and barefoot, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch yoga with Adrian.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk
I
on the
haven't,
grass. barefoot.
I haven't done that
dog.
yet. I haven't done that one yet, but
I have heard that a lot. Though. I'm
just
like,
go
oh,
outside and connect with the earth. I'm like, I walked my dog and picked up a piece of shit earlier, and my sciatica hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
The other thing that helps me. This is the bad time of year, but one of the things that helps me a lot is like I hunt a lot, so I'll get out in nature and just to be sitting out in the woods.
Oh, I couldn't
where
only
nothing
imagine.
is around you. The hard part is putting the phone down. Just to see nature just happening. I know, and again, it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's like everything just kind of slows down for a little bit. You can think. I used to call it tree stand therapy when I was in a tree stand. Like that's my time to chill and just kind of watch the woods. And there's nothing. I don't need to be anywhere.
No distractions.
I don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
Putting that pressure on myself to always be doing something as well, and not just to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a military thing or just an American thing. That idea of just resting and just relaxing. And
You gotta grind, dog.
And it's the same way in comedy. Comedy and the military are very similar in that sense.
Very similar.
You got to work your ass off all the time.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Don't take
Hustle,
a break.
hustle.
Always hustling. Always moving. Always trying to do things. And there's something to be said for that.
For sure.
You also need to take the rest just
Need
as
it.
serious. You know what I mean? And that's something I think I'm pretty bad at most of the time. I'll work 24 hours a day if I don't make myself not
Same.
do it.
Same. Yeah.
But yeah, and that's even worse. That's
Oh,
more
it is,
destructive.
because then that burnout comes.
Oh yeah.
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 And then who knows what that's
Or
going to take you
destructive
to.
behavior of some other kind.
That's
Drinking
it.
too much, or
Yep.
smoking too much weed, or whatever. Or,
Yeah.
Eating everything I can get my hands on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing that a little bit. You see these, yeah, a little cereal. Who needs one bowl when you can have
Hey,
two?
man, I worked a long time. I deserve this
I
second bowl.
deserve this second bowl of mini wheats. What are you gonna do with
You
all
eat
those
mini
carbs?
wheats? Is that what you
Nothing.
eat?
Yeah, those frosted mini
That's
wheats.
terrible.
I know,
That's
it's fucking
gross, dude.
horrible.
Are you serious? It just tastes bad. Why are you eating mini
The
wheats?
strawberry ones? Fuck. I'll tell you, man.
I do honey bunches of O's with chocolate milk.
He don't have that shit, y'all.
That's crazy, dude.
I go hard on everything.
That's a carryover from the pandemic.
Yeah.
I probably should give it up, but it's so good.
I just can't let it go. I can't shake this one.
It's so good.
Yeah, but I do admire what you just said in there, the complacency. I think sometimes when we get help, I've done this before, and there's an analogy I heard people using recovery, and I'll be 7 years sober this weekend, but no matter how far you go down the road of life of making good decisions, the ditch is always right there, you know?
Yeah,
and that because I've done that where I was just like, I'm good, and I stopped the meds, I stopped the help, I stopped the everything, and then it was like, oh shit, hello, fucked up friends coming back to me, you know? And again, there's nothing wrong with, I want to down dose this. I want to come off of this. I want to do these things. But to totally drop your guard. I mean, I got him. You can't see him right now because I got this thing up. But I got General Mattis, the Honorable Mr. Mattis, sitting on the wall. And what he used to always say was complacency kills. Yeah. And it really does. And I think, I ask audiences sometimes when I speak about mental health and different stuff, I ask them, like, who thinks Will Smith was smacking Chris Rock that night? nobody raises their hands. He was smacking some other shit that night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I know from reading his book, and you know, I'm an '80s baby, so I always admired Chris Rock and Will Smith. But a hurt person hurt someone who didn't deserve that. Number one, that evening, and a lot of us go through life metaphorically smacking people all the time. It's just not on national television.
That's true.
But I know Will has done some work. He done ayahuasca, he done therapy, all this stuff. But somewhere in there, and it's not to judge, it's just to learn from the experience. You let your guard down, and the things that are, you know, for whatever reason, can attack you, and now you turn into a lesser version of the self that you want to be. It's just an example, not glorifying celebrities or pop culture, but that's something we all know about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. And talk about resilience. How about Chris Rock handling that shit? Goddamn, you know?
Yeah, dude.
But a hurt person hurt somebody and didn't deserve it. I know I have walked around metaphorically smacking people my entire life because I'm not dealing with my shit and my shit's dealing with me. Or I've dropped my guard. So it's like you got to stay on target. Maybe not as intense as before. You adjust some things and learn some new things, but to just drop your guard and be like, "I'm fixed." No, you're not. You know what I mean? No. That's just not. That's not reasonable.
It's never ends. It's like working out. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna be like. It can't be like, "Oh, I'm good. I never work out again." You know, and then the worst part, then you got to start from scratch again. You know what I mean? It's painful. The same thing, you know. I've backed off of everything, and now I'm fine. And then it's like, okay, now I got this ramp up. Right. Now I got to start the meds again, and that takes a while to kick in. I got to start the therapy again. That takes a while to like show the results. So yeah, dude, it's a never ending. Cycle of maintaining that stuff. You know, maintaining your mental health, just like your physical health, just like everything else. Yeah. Never. I don't think it ever ends.
Never ends.
But the good news about never end, I mean, and that could be taken in a couple different ways. It could be taken as kind of pessimistic. Hey, it's never going to end. I'm never going to get better. But I think more importantly, it's like there's always room to grow even more, no matter where you're at. I think that's the right mentality. It's not one. I admit it. Yeah. It's not what I always have, but that's what I strive for, I guess.
Yeah. And half of this hippie tree hugging shit that I've expressed, and I'm sure he has too on the show. If you'd have talked to me 15 years ago, I'd be like, get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away. What are you listening to Beck albums or some shit? The shitty ones? Get the fuck away. I would have said that.
Yeah. No, same. Yeah. I'm like, that's some bullshit. You know. Yeah. I use my kid as an example. I would have never. I mean, for years I pushed back. I was like, nah, she doesn't need these meds. And then I was like, why did I took that time away from her. Yeah. You know, where she could have been more productive and more helpful. And I was like, man, I wish I would have realized that sooner. And I think that's the case with a lot of stuff. It's like, man, I wish I would have done X, Y, and Z sooner. You know, it is what it is. You can't get time back.
Nah, right? And you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
you know, you didn't know it then, and you got to give yourself some grace.
Yeah, for sure. And just realize it, and you know, okay, I'm gonna keep this going from the future.
Yeah. It matters, man. I know you have a lot of things to do. You're a busy man. He's going all over. I'm telling you, man. I seen that clip you said about Trip on the. I seen that today on Laugh Factor. That's LA.
Yeah,
man, that's amazing, dude. Yeah. Wow, that's so fucking cool. And then tomorrow you want to plug any gigs or any shows you got?
I'm in Norfolk at a VFW show.
At the Tidewater Post and the Naughty by Norfolk.
What's
up?
Where I'm at?
Yeah,
you know more than I do about it.
A little bit.
Yeah, we closing that show out, and then the big thing I got coming up, I'm super excited about next weekend. I don't know when this is going to come out, but next weekend I'm going to be doing a show for Fleet Week with the USO down in New Orleans.
New Orleans?
So, yeah, I'm going to be headlining a spot.
A No Limit Soldier. But you're actually a soldier, so it works out.
Yeah, it works out. But so it's Fleet Week, maybe a bunch of drunk Marines and Navy people down there. I'm excited about that. And then just kind of all over the country doing the thing, and doing a couple more cruises this year and things like that. So yeah, just trying to stay on the road as much as possible, man. Doing the comedy thing.
Now, you're an inspiration, man. You really are. When Bobby Henline, who you're performing with tomorrow, was one of the first like sparks I had in 2012 when I saw the I forgot the name of the documentary, but I saw him and I was like, wow. And then Rob Riggle, Marine, and then when I saw you, and I was just like, maybe I could do this, you know what I mean? And have, because I don't have to just be a this or just be a that. I always wanted to do this, and it's just so when you see representation of veterans continuing to live dreams, it's fucking inspiring, and you're doing that shit, man.
I'll tell you my Bobby Henline story. It was just great. When I met him, we got hired to do a show down in Florida for this organization called Hookin' Veterans, which is a great organization.
Hookin' Veterans. Amazing
take
organization.
bets on these amazing deep sea fishing trips. I've been working with them for like 3 years. Technically, I'm a brand ambassador, although I don't do hardly anything for them. But I've worked with them for the last 3 years doing shows.
He does wear the shirt. I've seen it.
I do wear the shirt a lot. But when I met Bobby, so we met up in Charlotte at the airport, him and Jamie and his wife, and the guy calls me that was setting us up. He goes, "Hey, Bobby is in the terminal. He's wearing, he's in shorts and a red base." I'm like, I know it. I'm gonna notice Bobby. Bobby's burned. His entire body is burned from
Warrior,
getting
man.
blown up in Iraq. I'm like, I think I'll recognize him. It's not gonna be that hard, you know. He's like,
he's the funniest motherfucker, man.
I'm like, guys, why are you telling me what Bobby's wearing? He's wearing a red hat. Yeah, he's also burned as shit. Like it's insane. I think I'll figure it out. But yeah, it was that was a great time. That's how I met Bobby, and yeah, we just hit it off. We hung out in Vegas quite a bit a couple years ago. We've done a bunch of stuff, so I'm super stoked to work with him again.
We did a run up in Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, and we're in a group chat. And it's for a comedy show, 1 Degree of Separation. But they are fucking amazing. That's what I'll say. Fucking saving lives out there. And Bobby was on this show too, and we were in a group chat. And I'll just share this with you because you don't know who's who in the group chat. We just are all trying to coordinate, get into the Airbnb. And he's like, I just see some guy named Bobby, fucking pretty common. I got like 3, 5 of them in my family. He just goes, I'm the guy looking like Freddy Krueger sitting outside the American terminal or Delta or whatever it was. And I was like, all right, he must be wearing a sweater or some shit. This is comedians. It's kind of funny.
You didn't know?
Bro, I didn't know. We got to the Airbnb, and I see the car pull up, and I see Brad and Victoria, and I see Ronnie Chanel, the other comedian that was there. And I go fucking, you can ask him about this. I turned instantly fanboy. I did everything but hump his fucking leg. I was like, this is the fucking Bobby? And then the joke made sense about the Freddy Krueger shit, but I had no idea. If y'all don't know who Bobby Henline is, fucking amazing dude. Defines resilience.
Speaker,
and this guy as well, man. Just veterans doing things, doing bigger things, and they're collaborating tomorrow to do a show down in Tidewater in Norfolk. And yeah, man, I'm grateful to be in y'all's presence.
I love following Bobby because then I come up and be like, I have a Purple Heart too. Like,
Purple Heart Mafia.
Bobby's had like 7 million surgeries. I'm like, I got 4 stitches. It's fine. I took a little piece of shrapnel.
I'm Survivor 2, brother.
We're the same.
We're the same.
Exactly. We have the same experience.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, fucking warriors, dude. Warriors, I tell you. I do want to ask you this, bro.
Yeah, man.
As we close out, and any save rounds, please share. But I know you have other things to do and get to things. You're about to traveling the whole world. But if someone was out there right now, it's an uptick right now. But put it like this: we're losing way too many fucking people to a preventable way of death, which is suicide, and then recently, like murder-suicide is at all new high rates. But specifically, someone thinking about taking their own life and dying by suicide. If you had an opportunity to say anything to them prior to, because we always want to say shit after. I wish I could have. I wish, you know, and we what if it, and I wish I could have. But if you could, what would you say?
I think for me, I would tell them that I care.
Yes,
I actually care. Like, I know it feels like no one cares right now, but there are a lot of people out there that care, including me. Talk to me.
Yes,
you know, and I think that's it. I mean, I love the answer the other guy gave. You know, Brad. I think it was Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
Wait. You know, I think it's great. You know, because it will get better. I promise. If you talk to somebody, if you talk to me, talk to whatever, it will get better eventually. It doesn't feel like it will, but it will. I promise, because I've been through it. It does seem overwhelming, but it's not as it doesn't have to be.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's what I would say.
I love it, man. And another thing too, y'all probably tired of hearing me say this, but you have no idea who or what is coming down this road of life, and they may need you, and you may need them, and you don't even know them yet. You know what I mean? So bear that in mind in this whole thing, and it's tough, this thing called life, but I believe if we weren't meant to be here, like so many other people I've lost in life, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, will ensure that you are not here. So think about that and think about who's there. And as he said, he echoed what Brad said, wait. And he said, reach out. He cares. There's people that genuinely care. They just don't know because we're all the stars of our own little fucking movie. And we're running around. We're fucking getting pings and dings and fucking Teams alerts and all that fucking shit. You sometimes just can't always catch in and cue in that somebody else may be just dying inside. So help by speaking up, reaching out. But don't let Dewayne be your single point of failure. Don't let Cam be your single point of failure. Whomever else, you know who they are. Because maybe they didn't answer, but call someone else. That doesn't mean nobody cares. That just means at that moment, that person wasn't ready to care at that exact moment. So don't let one person be the single point of failure. Brother, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everything you do, what Imka does. You're a fucking light in this world, man. You really are, dude. I mean that shit. And like Ricky Gervais says, don't be an angel when you're fucking dead. Be one now, motherfucker. And you guys are that. But I also know what it's to give light must endure burning. Appreciate you shining.
I appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much.
Any save rounds, bro?
I don't think so, man. I just appreciate being here and having me on here. And I guess my biggest thing I would say is it's okay to get help.
It's okay.
You know what I mean? We all need it. We all need it in different ways. So, don't be ashamed to ask for help. It's the biggest thing.
That's it. Y'all heard it, man. This has been another episode of the Real Resilience Talk podcast. I've been here today with the one and only Dewayne White. All right, check out his special on Amazon. It's up there, The Boy Named Shannon. And follow this man. I'll put his hashtags and ats and all that bullshit. All the good shit. Sorry, it's not bullshit. It's good shit. Ways to stay in touch with Dewayne. But
feels like it sometimes.
I tell you this right now, First Amendment has remained in full effect. We're not doctors. We're just card-carrying Americans using our First Amendment rights to hopefully fucking make good things go viral instead of all this dumb shit out here. You know what I mean? Hopefully this can impact somebody. I do want to share with you, too, that we are sponsored by Nobody, baby. Appreciate y'all. Take care of each other. Much love. Don't suppress it. Express it.